Greetings and welcome to this Touhou character introduction, where we'll be discussing the Princess of the Netherworld and Mistress of Hakugyokuru, Yuyuko Saigyouji. Yuyuko first appeared as the final boss of Touhou 7 Perfect Cherry Blossom, where she attempted to gather all of Gensokyo Spring in order for the yokai cherry tree named Saigyu to bloom. She was later a playable character alongside Yomu in Imperishable Night, and appeared as a boss again in the first stage of 10 Desires. She has one of the most interesting backstories in the series, so I'll try to summarize it as well as I can. Approximately 1000 years ago, Yuyuko was a human that possessed the power to manipulate the spirits of the dead. However, over time her power grew into one that could invite death to others. Frightened and unable to control her power, she committed Sudoku and her body was then used to act as a shield for the Saigyu, a cherry tree that became a yokai with the power to lure people into resting near it in order to steal their life essence. But as you can probably guess, that is not where her story ends, for after her death she was resurrected as a ghost without any of her memories and went on to act as the ruler of the Netherworld. One day, while browsing through her library, she found a record explaining the existence of a buried body under the now lifeless Saigyu. This created feelings of curiosity in Yuyuko, maybe because of a subconscious attraction to her own grave, and she attempted to make the tree bloom in order to see if that would lead to the reincarnation of the person that lay to rest under it. And that was just a short version of the story, huh? When it comes to her personality, she is a cheerful, energetic and very friendly person, but can sometimes come across as air-headed. Despite that, she can be quite cunning and perceptive, not to mention knowledgeable thanks to being, undead. And of course, we can't forget her most distinctive trait as far as the fandom's concerned, that being her gluttony. I have a bit to say about that, but I'm gonna save it for the popularity section of this video. As previously mentioned, Yuyuko has the ability to manipulate spirits, a useful trait for someone who lives in a world inhabited pretty much solely by ghosts, and can also bring death to anyone, as long as they haven't drank the Horai elixir, but that's like 3 people, so we can ignore them for simplicity's sake. This ability is much less powerful than it sounds, but definitely dangerous, as it may not kill the person instantly, but will guarantee that they will surely die, and probably way sooner than they would naturally. In terms of relationships, we definitely need to start with Yomu, her gardener, fencing instructor, bodyguard, servant, errand girl, and pretty much anything else she requires. They are very close and care for each other deeply, even if they aren't always on the same page. While on the topic of the Konpaku lineage, let's talk about Yomu's grandpa, Yoki, the previous servant of Yuyuko and the one person that is confirmed to know the full picture of Yuyuko's life as both a human and a ghost. In addition, we also have Eiki, the one responsible for judging people after death and the one who seems to have appointed Yuyuko as the manager of the Netherworld. So in a sense, Eiki is her boss. Lastly, we have Mari Yukari Yakumo, one of the seeds of Gensokyo responsible for creating the barrier. Yuyuko seems to be one of Yukari's few real friends, which is even more surprising considering they first met and started being friends when Yuyuko was still human, and well, Yukari is a yokai, so you can probably guess why that's a rare phenomenon. However, they are still close even after her death, so that much hasn't changed at least. Now I know I don't usually refer to fan theories on these videos, but a lot of people believe that the person who saved the Saigyu using Yuyuko's corpse was indeed Yukari, so do with that information what you will. Yuyuko is certainly a fan favorite character. I mean, being in one of the first generation games, as a final boss no less, guarantees that people at the very least will know you, which is more than I can say for, I don't know, Kishume. As such, he gets featured in a lot of fanworks, and that's absolutely great. But why is her only character trait in the fanon her appetite? Look, I get it, it's exaggerated for comedic relief, but Yuyuko is one of the most deep and thought-provoking characters in the series, with so much potential for her story to be expanded on through fanworks, and yet people still choose to use her simply as a joke. I'm not saying that's necessarily bad, or that every story with Yuyuko has to be tragic, but I feel like the character is so much less impactful when she's just a childish carefree glutton than when she is a childish carefree glutton despite all the tragic events he's been through. And that concludes the rant about Yuyuko's usual interpretation in the fanon, presented to you by a person that doesn't particularly like Yuyuko. Well, if you enjoy this sort of content, then by all means check out the video currently on your screen, subscribe for more, and leave a comment telling me which character you'd like me to talk about next. Have a good one!